Yeah, we'll just do number one again. So it's how did IMC get its start, what forces shaped it, and then we'll talk a little bit about SIVA.
Okay.
This will be final take.
That's a wrap.
That's all right. Hi, I'm here today with Dr. Don Schultz, Professor Emeritus at Northwestern University. Don is a noted academic, author, researcher, consultant on integrated marketing communication. Thank you for being here, Don.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
Well, excellent. Well, let's take a stroll back in time. Let's go back to the 1980s and early 1990s to the beginning of integrated marketing communication. So if maybe you could talk a little bit about how IMC evolved and
Okay.
What were some of the early forces in shaping this as a professional practice?
Well, it was an interesting journey for us at Northwestern. We have been teaching advertising at Northwestern since 1902. So we had a very strong tradition of advertising. We had evolved over time into a graduate advertising program, and we were primarily placing people in advertising agencies. And this was going along in the 70s and 1980s, and we had probably the best advertising program in the world. The only problem we had was agencies started to consolidate, and clients started to move their money from traditional advertising into sales, promotion, and direct marketing and PR and all these other things. So we were looking down the road and we said, this would be really neat. We'll graduate these students and they won't have any jobs, and that's not going to work. So we started to talk about, well, where do we go and what do we do? So our first stage was to add some additional programs. We added a direct marketing program. We added a program in corporate public relations. And we ran those for about 2 or 3 years as separate entities. And then we finally woke up one day and said, we're teaching them all the same thing, but we're just calling it different things. So why are we doing that? Why can't we bring all this stuff together? So that's what we started doing. We were the first ones to really recognize that, I think, and the first ones to really try to attempt to do something about it. And about that time, the industry started having the same impact, because what was happening is money was being shifted into PR. The natural alternative for the agency was to go buy a PR agency. And they would hire about a PR agency and a promotion agency and direct marketing agency. They had them all lined up and they couldn't get them together. So the 4As, the American Association of Advertising Agencies and the Association of National Advertisers and the American Advertising Federation came and said, you guys have been working in this integrated thing, can you help us? And they funded the initial research, and so that's really how we sort of got started. We were kick-started by the industry. We had already taken the steps, but we were sort of kick-started by the industry, and that's been sort of what we've been doing ever since.
Great. Now let's move forward in time a little bit, looking at some of the dramatic shifts that have taken place in communication. So for example, there's been this shift in power from companies to consumers. Now, understanding and looking and being observant of what's going on in industry, you and your colleagues have proposed a new customer-focused model of marketing communication that's centered around this concept of solutions, information, values, and access. So can you talk a little bit about what that model is and sort of elaborate on what it means?
Sure. We first started looking at this in about 2004, 2005. And one of the things we discovered was the traditional process that is being used, has historically been used by marketing, which is product, price, place, and promotion. And we started saying, well, where does the customer fit in there? And the problem was the customer is sort of a byproduct of that process. So we said, what if we turn that around? What if we flip that around and we start with customers? Well, that starts you thinking about what solutions are they looking for? What kind of information do they need? What kind of value do they get? And what kind of value do they have to give up? And where do they want to buy it? And that's really sort of where that came from. it was an attempt to try to flip over the traditional marketing process and really start to focus on how you build customer-based models and how do you build customer-focused activities. And that's really where the integration all came together. Because if you think about it from the customer's view, a company and a brand keep sending things out in all different forms, all different ways. And the customer's sitting there saying, well, you're all at the same company. Why are you guys doing different things? So that really says why you have to bring all of these things together.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Don. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That was
That
great.
one was shorter.
Yeah.